Hey, Walking Dead comic book fans.
What's going on, guys? Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to talk about, is Negan dead or alive? And we may have gotten some information from the famous artist of the series, Charlie Adlard, in a recent interview that he did.
Yeah, guys, so as you guys already may know, The Walking Dead has ended. It has been quite some time that we have not been able to walk into a comic shop and buy a brand new issue of The Walking Dead, which is okay, but still sad at the same time. But during the last issue of 193, we jumped ahead roughly 20 years, and Negan became a recluse. He was by himself.
Prior to that.
He was avoiding, Carl, who was delivering supplies to him. He just wanted to be by himself. Right. And we kind of saw in the final issue just one panel of him just in a shadow delivering flowers to the grave of his dead wife, Lucille. Mm-hmm. And that's all we know about Negan. And so I believe what Charlie Adlard is really referencing is probably after the fact. Robert Kirkman has said they could do a spin-off of Negan. Nothing's planned right now, but an option's open. So he was giving an interview talking. He was at a festival over in Europe, which is like one of the biggest, second largest comic festival, international comics in Europe. And he was asked about who his favorite character is to draw and what a Negan version of what a Negan zombie version would look like. And it's really cool. We want to check this out because I think he's drawing it at the same time.
Yeah, so we're going to do a reaction to this video and but discuss it afterwards.
Yeah, so we'll get some insight. So let's check this out.
I have no real hardcore favourites. I've always quite liked Negan. I like drawing Negan because he's pretty much the only character that's always... I always sketch smiling. Everyone else always has to look very serious.
Doing it as he's talking.
Negan came about when we were doing... Robert had obviously already conceived of the Saviours storyline. He said, tell you what, do 6 covers of the Saviours, but just do them, sort of their neck down to their waists, and each of them will be holding a weapon. One character will be holding a gun, one character will be holding a machete, one character will be holding a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it. So I did these 6 characters, and when I finished, Robert just basically said, they looked at the character with the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire and said, yep, that's Negan, that's our Negan.
That's cool.
There we go. He might be a zombie for all we know. Even I don't know whether he's alive or dead. Robert and I had planned this ending 4 years ago. We had a conversation about finishing it that long ago. It was no sort of big surprise to obviously to either of us when we decided to when we got closer to the finish, because we knew we were going to finish on that specific issue number and things like that. I didn't want to finish because I'd had enough. I wanted to finish, with the feeling of wanting still to do more, because, in the end, you're giving the fans more then, rather than just disappointing them with the fact that you're just on automatic pilot, just drawing this thing, well, arguably for the money. So that was the reason we decided to end it. Still when it was popular, still when, there was stories to tell, but no, not anymore.
That's cool. Look at that, dude.
Believe it or not, I've only watched the show up to season 4.
Wow.
So this is no criticism of the show, but for me, it just feels like watching the show is doing homework. Nice. I started watching it and enjoyed it, but as the seasons went on, I just fell behind, and all of a sudden I found myself having not seen it for a few seasons and probably will never catch up with it now.
Interesting.
Especially if they keep producing it. I've never even seen any of Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm sure I'll never see anything of the new one as well. Might go and watch the movie if it comes out in the cinema.
God, look at that.
That's cool.
Yeah. That is awesome.
So, I guess really his comment about not knowing if Negan is alive, he must be referencing, because we know that Negan is alive, that we saw the one panel, so he just must be referencing...
He's referencing after the comic book.
After the comic book, if they continue with the stories...
Would Negan make it?
Would Negan make it, if they do something, or if they decide to take it up again or something like that.
Yeah, this isn't any insight as in stories that they had planned after issue 193. This is simply him just saying, look, we didn't plan any story after that, and truly don't know what happened to him. And then I love the comment that he threw out there, yeah, he probably a zombie.
Yeah, that's cool. But I mean, we got a tease from the last issue, we got a tease from Robert Kirkman in the goodbye letter that said, P.S. Negan lives. It's a tease.
Negan lives, but but there was also one prior to that in the letter hacks of 192, I believe, yes, that said Negan would play a much larger story or a much larger role in comics to come. So we always got the sense, well, at least we left issue 192 with, hey, because Rick's gone, but we're going to get Negan now as a main character.
At 192, you guys know, we had no idea the comic was ending. It was all a surprise to us, so we were kind of crushed when we heard that from the letter saying there's going to be more Negan to come, and we're like, oh, we're pumped, they're going to do so much cool stuff. And then it ended, and we're just like,
yeah, it was.
What are you going to do now?
To me, it was a blow more of the fact that I wanted to see more of Negan because it was promised to us, or not promised, but it was said that, hey, Negan's going to be more of a character now, or show up more in the comic. I think what was probably more crazy about this interview is the fact that he hasn't seen the show past season 4, and any other show for that matter. I mean, it sounds like he's kind of burned out from it.
Yeah, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, and I mean, I really don't know. I mean, it's probably maybe different for him to watch the show and, being part of the comic series, to where, yes, the show is created from the comic book, but they do change things around. They take source material information, but they're going to twist it. But maybe he doesn't like that. Maybe he's like, yeah, they did a good job up to season 4, but I'm kind of done watching
Here's my argument against that. Like, the story plan, or the story writing wasn't his ideas. Like, he never...
he's the artist.
He's the artist. He didn't have any say into what happened to the characters. So I would just think that if I was the artist, I would want to see my creations being displayed on a cinema.
Yeah.
So I was kind of taken back by that. I thought, maybe I don't expect him to be a full out fan and be up every Sunday night watching the show, but I definitely expected him to at least still kind of keep up with it. It sounds like he's completely not paying attention to the show.
He doesn't care about the show. And what's cool is, like, later on in this interview, and he actually tweeted it out not too long ago, he did a concept art of what Daryl would look like in the comics. Because Daryl is not, he's specifically made for the show. Now, one thing that they said, and this actually came up to Robert Kirkman, I think somebody asked him this, is would you cross over Daryl into the comic books? And they were basically like flat out, no. Daryl is made for the TV show. I think it would do a disservice to bring a TV show character into the source material.
Especially Daryl, right? Because Daryl has been since, and here's why. Like, if you had a comic book, if you had a series actor or character come into the comic book that maybe had come in at season 6 or 7, okay. But, like, this is a character that's been there from, like, episode 1 to episode 1, I think.
Who? Daryl?
Daryl.
Yeah, he's been there from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Right.
So, like, you kind of got to wonder, like, to bring him in that late into the comic, like, there's not enough material. Like, you have to build that character.
And as you guys can see, this is his rendition of what Daryl would look like. Now,
that's awesome.
I mean, it looks cool. But what he's thinking of, it doesn't even look like Norman Reedus, and I'm sure that was probably in his mind. But he even said in the interview since he doesn't watch the show that much. I mean, he knows who Norman Reedus is, but it's hard for him to picture the character because it's attached to a person.
Exactly.
It's hard.
So you find yourself drawing some of their characteristics rather than going on your own inspiration.
So I mean, it looks cool, but you can see Norman Reedus in it, but because he's thinking of a person rather than a character.
I kind of see Dante, the comic book character, in that.
The comic book version of Dante is definitely in that.
Not the show.
Not
the
show.
The comic.
The comic, yeah. So, but I mean, it was a little cool insight. It's Charlie Adlard. He does amazing work. We were interested to finding out what he thought of as to why he thinks that Negan either could be alive or not alive, or maybe Robert Kirkman just didn't say, in his mind, he survives to like issue 200 if that's maybe one thing they planned or something like that.
Yeah, I think that no matter what they say, it doesn't matter. I mean, it provides, you know, awesome conversation for us to have with you guys. But in the end, I think that like either they're going to be quiet about this stuff because they have stories actually planned, maybe for the future, not now, but maybe for the future, or they're simply, that's it. We're done with it. We're not, you know, here's what it possibly could be, but that's speculation, if anything.
Yeah, but either way, the zombified version of Negan still looks badass.
It does.
And he even drew it with his coat on.
It does.
With his jacket on. So.
With the collar popped up.
Yeah, with the collar.
I definitely would not want to see that.
No. Maybe at the end. At the end of everything.
No.
Yeah, I would want to see it. So let us know what you think, guys. Feel free to subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification and give the video a quick like if you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more Walking Dead stuff from us as we enjoy everything in the world of Walking Dead. And we appreciate everything you guys do for us. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.